All right, since I'm in here recording, I might as well knock out a couple reviews as well. I've been watching a lot of films this week, and let's talk about them. So let's start with The Last Breath. Why not? So this is a shark movie. That's what's going to make a lot of people come and try to watch this one because the shark subgenre seems to just never die despite it having such a lack of quality. The shark subgenre has to be the least quality to quantity thing in horror because they make endless amounts of them. People continue to keep supporting and watching them despite diminishing returns. Like, it is incredible how lopsided the quality is versus the quantity. It really is staggering because I won't even watch 90% of them. They just release so many and they are so obviously trash. And then when I look at reviews for the ones that are so obviously trash, people are like, people are like, they are just as bad as they seem. Anyways, moving on from that, but we got yet another shark film here, and this is about this vessel of these two guys, an older guy played by Julian Sands. This is kind of odd and ironic, but I watched two Julian Sands films in a row. Didn't know he was in either one of them. It was this and The Piper, which is on Tubi. And it just so happened that these were his two last films. There was like another film in there that was also in that time period, so there was like three films. But this was two of his last films. I think this is his actual last film he ever made before he died. But it was just super odd, and I'll bring that up in my other one as well. But it was cool, and he plays the like fishing boat captain here. And I don't know if they're fishing. They're explorers. They go out and they do these. Anyways, they find this downed ship down, at the bottom of the ocean, and it's this big discovery, and they're all excited about it. And then the younger guy, they go back to shore, and his buddies show up, his old college buddies. And of course, one of them is like his ex-girlfriend's, a lot of romantic drama there, or whatever. And then one of them has a lot of money and is super successful. And then there's a few other randoms. And they find out they have financial troubles. The two shipping partners, and so the rich guy wants him to take him down to the wreck that they found. And he's like, no way, it's too dangerous. And he offers them like a ridiculous amount of money. And they're like, no, 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 no. So when they find out they're in financial trouble, they realize like, okay, maybe we can use that guy's money. So they go and they throw a ridiculous number at him. And he agrees to it, which is just insane. And so there they go. And while they are down there, of course, things go wrong and they run into a shark. And you're dealing with not only the ship, and they've never been in it, so it's like hard to navigate. And you're down there with a bunch of inexperienced divers. You know the gig. Really cool premise. I'll give the movie that. It's well shot. The acting when they're on land is all good. I mean, it has a good production value to it for sure. And I was impressed with all of that stuff. And all the water shooting is really tough, right? Because it's always so hard to tell what's going on and to give performances that are that you can connect to and feel the urgency of, because we don't really get a shot of anyone's face or the emotion on it. We can't connect with them empathetically because of like what they're conveying with their body language and all of that. It's very, very difficult. And plus it's kind of muddy, right? There's this movie called The Deep House that came out, and it was like such a cool idea. And almost the entire thing takes place underwater with our characters, and they're talking to each other, and it's like, I want to say it's maybe even found footage. Yeah, I think it is. It's like body cams or something. And it's like, this is a really cool idea, but man, it's really hard to make out what's going on. And the same is true here, because when you're underwater that much, it starts to take away from things, and it's hard. And So what I did not like about this movie, and why this movie ended up being kind of like middle of, mid-tier shark film. It's definitely above the garbage sci-fi type shit that people seem to never get enough of, but I just have really very little interest in. The Sharktopus and the Sharknadoes and all that garbage. This definitely falls somewhere more in the middle. It's okay. It's like if you're a big shark fan, then this is definitely something you should check out. If you're someone who's like, oh, I like, as long as the shark movie is like decent, then I'm on board. Yes, definitely give it a shot. I think it'll be worth your time if you're a big fan of the shark subgenre and just want like a okay, competently made shark film with a cool premise. That's this film for sure. If you like something like 47 Meters Down Uncaged, the sequel, this kind of reminds me of that a bit. Which had a lot of potential, but ended up kind of just being okay. It was like, that was okay. That was fine. It's a fine shark movie. But I really got lost on number one. Decision making is it's rough. Number two, the conversations, for some reason, like when they're up on land, the camaraderie and the friendships and all that stuff, the chemistry between the friends, it all feels fine. It all feels genuine, and authentic enough. But for some reason, when they get in the water, the acting starts to feel silly. The performances, because I think that they're trying to overact to make up for the lack of emotion that can be shown on a clear face that's not in the water and covered by a mask and a scuba suit and all that shit and a bunch of like sand and dirt and debris that's in the water and all that stuff. So you have to like really overemphasize things to add to the dramatics and to add to the drama and all of that stuff. The dramatics and the drama. Did I really just say that? The tension and the the strife between the characters once things start to go sideways. How about that? Is that better? So that's really where it started to fall apart. And also, the shark just didn't look good. It felt CG. It felt okay at times, but for the most part, like the way it was moving and the way it looked when it was coming, the shark never felt authentic. It never felt like a real, genuine threat. And I think that's a huge one when it comes to it. Now, it's not 100% necessary because, like, obviously the shark in Jaws doesn't look real, but man, is it effective. But we're talking about Steven Spielberg here, and this director is no Steven Spielberg. Who the hell is? But while watching this movie, I was very into the premise. I thought Julian Sands was cool in this, and it was cool to see him. And I really wanted to root for this movie. At first, I was like, oh, this could actually be like one of the better shark films. Like, I'm actually feeling that this is taking itself seriously. It feels like it's well done. It feels like it has a cool premise. Trying to navigate your way through this downed battleship and all of the different compartments and all of the different pitfalls that you can run into down there. That's cool, but it just doesn't really amount to much. It's very anticlimactic in a lot of areas, and a lot of things become predictable, and archetypes start to fall into place, and I don't know. I felt very ho-hum on it once it really got going. Once we got past the initial setup, my excitement was kind of building, then it was kind of from there, it was just kind of like, oh, that's where we're going? Oh, okay, this is fine, So it very much has a 47 meters. In fact, this feels like 47 meters down 3. That's the way it feels, but I would say it's the worst of the 47 meters down films if it was one of them. But it does feel like it would fit. Like, this 100% feels like if they release this as 47 meters down, The Last Breath, I wouldn't question it at all. I would genuinely feel like this felt like a 47 meters down film. So if you're a big fan of that franchise, that's, I guess, the way I would sell this is the unofficial 47 Meters Down sequel. So yeah, it's fine. Shark fans, definitely jump on it. It's worth your time. Anybody else who's like, I don't really like shark films, is this one going to win me over? No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's everything we've seen before 100 times. Nothing unique is added to it. I like that someone like breaks off something to like grab a weapon. That's not something super super new. There's, it's all the tropes. It's the oxygen tanks. It's the swimmer who, or the scuba diver who is super inexperienced. There's the person who is too cocky and arrogant. There's the person who, once everything goes to shit, they start turning on everybody. There's it's all the same shit you've ever seen. So that's that. The Last Breath. Yeah, I know it sounds like I downplayed this film pretty heavy, but it's because it's a mediocre film. But for a shark film, it's one of the better ones you're going to see. Although this year, Under Paris would be the best shark film we've gotten this year for sure. So that's on Netflix. So if you're looking for a shark film that's better than this that came out this year, Under Paris is the one to watch because that one has a rad ending, but is also silly. That's also a mid-tier film, but it's just a little better than this because it's more entertaining. And that's that. I've rambled enough. You guys know the channel. Unscripted. I didn't even know what fucking film I was sitting down to record. So if that gives you any indication of how unscripted this channel is, there you go. I literally picked the film as I'm sitting here like, how about this one? So zero prep. Love it or hate it. That's the channel. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.